What is going on, you guys? Back with another installment of some new exercises for your total gym or sliding bench trainer. I actually got tons of stuff to show you, but in this video, I thought I'd narrow it down to just about 5 or so. I'll show some other new exercise videos in the coming weeks. I'm actually kind of long overdue for these. If you guys are new to the channel and don't know this, I have a whole new exercise playlist on my channel. You guys can go back and see a lot of past installments. There's tons of exercise. There's no shortage of stuff you guys can do in this equipment. I have so much stuff that I've yet to show you, like I said. And these are just things you can kind of dip and choose and use them kind of how you will. I always like kind of staple stuff, and I come back to this stuff once in a while, so you guys might see this stuff. The point is, there's a lot of things maybe you guys have missed, so definitely check that out. Now in this video, I'm gonna use some basic attachments, squat stands, external weight plates, weight bar for some things. I am gonna take advantage of these tricep ropes. I wasn't really planning to incorporate these really heavily, but just found some new exercises that kind of made sense to kind of use this. Also, you might need some extra extension in your cables to kind of pull some of this stuff off. So I got 2 carabiner clips and also the swivel handles, which I always pretty much use in all my workouts. So I will link these and everything down below in the description box if you guys want to pick it up and or support the channel. As always though, guys, extremely appreciative and grateful for you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, share this information, greatly appreciated. All right, now one point kind of worth noting, this may or may not be necessary, but I got 2 cinder blocks in the front and back end of the machine to kind of help stabilize that for some of these things. You guys will see why maybe here in a second. I use this back one a lot to kind of prop the machine up, and definitely kind of do that at your own risk. But this actually comes in handy for a number of things, even as like kind of like a seat in the back end. So just kind of keep that in mind as we kind of go along here. All right, guys, this first one's kind of like a hinge pattern. I recommend to a lot of people, I've said this many times, one of the great exercises to do off the machine would be some sort of like a deadlift or hinging pattern. People ask other ways to kind of replicate this on a total gym. There's actually a few different ways I've kind of shown before. Don't think I've shown this one. Like I said, you're gonna want some extra extension if you guys have it. These ropes actually come in handy also because of the fact they do give some extra extension. I got 2 plates on here, as you guys can see. I'm getting behind the glide board. I'm gonna reach, again, I'm putting my hips back, and then what I'm gonna do is just kind of thrust my hips forward, coming through just like this. And as you can see, this is a pretty smooth, fluid exercise. You definitely wanna have some sort of grippy surface, some grippy shoes. I've linked these shoes down below, they're really cheap on Amazon. I use these a lot whenever I'm working out, pretty much almost every time. All right, then as you guys can see here, as I'm coming up into hip extension, what I'm basically working here are my glutes. I'm also working my lower back, doing some back extensions as I come through, and definitely with more weight, and also just the more reps you do, you're gonna feel this kind of light up your glutes and also your lower back. And this is just one of those things that the more you kind of focus on a particular body part, whether that's your glutes or your back, the more you'll start to feel that. So not exactly a totally, one-for-one replication of how you would feel that as I pick up something from here, but definitely another good alternative, another good supplementary exercise that's pretty easy to do, jumping on and off and switching between other exercises. Now, something I just want to add here, guys, after the fact is you actually can turn around and actually do this the other direction, especially with the tricep ropes. I actually did this before I recorded the video. I just had a lot of extra weight on, but so it's kind of hard to do without that. You'll kind of pull you backwards. So if you had like 145-pound plate or like 25 pounds on, you definitely can do this as well. All right, this next one's kind of a basic, traditional one you guys might have seen in the gym, but honestly, I don't think it's one I've really shown that much, probably because I personally don't do these as much, maybe as much as I should. I kind of more prefer the rear delt fly. I've kind of stressed that one a lot, but kind of similar to what you're working, maybe more direct in this one. I got no external weight on here. There's actually kind of 2 ways you can do it. I can simply leave these handles kind of attached to single cables and do it kind of a cross grip doing it this way, but basically I'm talking about face pulls. Sorry, I forgot to say that. But right now I got them attached to kind of one carabiner, linked them together. And a face pull is kind of what it sounds like. There's all sorts of different ways to kind of do a face pull. Literally all it means is like you're taking the weight or the whatever attachment you got, I can't talk today, and just pulling it straight to your head. Again, like all sorts of ways I can kind of flare my elbows, but primarily it's kind of what it sounds like. I'm just taking these things and just bring it straight to my head. Now what I'm really trying to do and work on here and emphasize is taking this and drawing the elbows back here. And as I'm drawing back, these muscles right between kind of like my scapula, my rhomboids, also my external rotators and my rotator cuff. All these muscles are working to really improve just this action here. As I'm kind of pulling in, I'm improving this range of motion in my shoulder girdle, kind of more specifically. But it's a great exercise. It's something that a lot of people, especially as you get older, this gets kind of bound up and this has a hard time even just doing something as simple as this. So a great exercise to incorporate. I wouldn't go super heavy. I would start out very light and Just do it on occasion, maybe towards the end of a workout, and don't overdo it. All right, this next exercise, another simple total gym take on a very traditional classic exercise a lot of people do in the gym with dumbbells. People in the gym might hold dumbbells in a neutral grip like this, and they'll be laying more on a flat bench, but they're up here just doing tricep extensions just like that. And that's, you know, it's pretty good exercise. I like this actually better. You'll see why, because as I'm going up and down with this tricep extension, let's say on a bench, I'm losing a lot of that force and tension on my triceps throughout that given range of motion, which is why I personally don't like doing triceps with dumbbells and free weights. I'd prefer a cable machine or something like that. But with a total gym, you actually can replicate that. Now, a lot of times we do a lot of exercises like here, which is certainly great. But if you want to replicate kind of hitting those same kind of tricep heads on a total gym, you could sit a little bit lower, you can even sit higher. I'll show you two different variations, but I keep my elbows locked in here and just tricep extending this way. Again, same exact exercise, working the same exact muscle group, kind of the same exact range of motion and pattern too. Just the way you can see the tension and the way this cable is kind of working against me or working for me, however you want to look at that. Really, I think it's superior than the traditional bench one. Now I can sit lower, I can also sit a little bit higher. Again, you're gonna want some extra extension here so this top of the glide board doesn't, I should say, top out or bottom out at the top, however you want to. But again, just simple tricep extensions. What you don't want to do is having your shoulders move too much. You could, I guess, to a little extent, but we want to maximize flexion at the elbow, maximum flexion here, and then as much as you can, maximum extension, just like that. And you know what, this is just another one that you think would pop in my brain earlier as often as I use this machine. So this is probably gonna be a new mini staple with the equipment. Probably the reason I don't do it is because I don't use these tricep ropes enough. So that might be something. So that's why a lot of these attachments can kind of get you a little more creative the more you kind of start incorporating them. All right guys, really cool exercise you can replicate with a total gym is I've seen this in the gym. It's like a single use machine. I think Free Motion makes it where it's like this abdominal kind of weighted crunch machine. It works out really good, especially if you got one of these like ab mats, and I can link this again shamelessly down below. You can raise this and kind of fit it to how you want to see fit. I got my little cinder block sitting here. Notice on the tricep ropes, I took off some extension. You're going to want to take some off a little bit just so you can get a little more kind of action and kind of more give initially from the first pull. Also, this won't be kind of rubbing against your shoulder. What I'm going to do is just kind of sit here. I got some weight plates on there. I think actually heavier would be better. And this isn't too bad to just set up. I just drop this thing down, kind of position it how you want. Gives us a little more extension in our midsection or abdominals. I'm gonna reach around. Depending on your flexibility, this might be more or less easier, I don't know. So I got it here. I'm gonna pull up, give an initial tuck in here. I extend back a little bit. Let's scoop this down a little bit. And just crunch here, just like that. Again, great exercise. This is one if you do for a lot of repetitions. Also, if you put some heavier weight on here, this can actually feel really good. So another really cool exercise, in my opinion, that you can replicate in your home that normally would cost you a lot of money. All right guys, and last but not least, just another way to work your glutes. If there's not enough ways already to work your glutes in a total gym, just another kind of a glute kickback. You can do them certainly with the handles and the cables up top. You can definitely work them pretty good, just the squat stand itself. Just kind of a different type of an angle. I mean, even though it looks pretty similar, you'll feel it a little different in some different spots here. I'm putting on some external weight plates. You guys can certainly add 2 plates, kind of light it up a little bit more. More of like kind of an open chain action versus if I'm pressing with the squat stand with a single leg, it's more of a kind of a closed chain action. So they just kind of feel a little bit different. Open versus closed meaning cloning. Closed meaning you're pressing against something that's kind of fixed. Open meaning I'm pushing against this glide board, which is kind of free to move. So it's not just kind of like terminology, they just feel a little bit different. Putting my heel, like the ball of my foot, kind of right in the bottom of the glide board. I'm gonna get some extension here. And then from this position, just kicking back. All right, and as I'm trying to do this, really trying to think about pressing through the glutes, obviously, and extending, giving yourself a little bit of a hold, and that'll make a big difference as you kind of do this. I actually tried it pressing on the external weight bar, but it easily just kind of comes off the track and it was kind of annoying, so that didn't work out too well. The only thing you gotta watch out for, this thing's already been kind of worn, is this might kind of prematurely wear glide board fabric, so kind of keep that in mind. All right guys, but that is it. Hopefully you got some out of this. If you didn't, don't worry, I got plenty more exercises coming your way in the near future. As always, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this content. Always gotta keep saying that. And love you guys. Thank you so much for the subscriber count. I'll also be putting out some sort of video in the near future about the 20,000 subscribers, so greatly appreciate it for all you guys for that. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.